Dating apps, they promised us a revolution in finding love, and for millions, they've absolutely become the default way to meet someone. So why does it so often feel like a totally broken system? Frustrating, exhausting, and yeah, sometimes even dangerous.
So is it really broken? Let's dig into the data behind that question. Because the numbers, well, they don't just tell a story. They reveal a massive paradox right at the heart of how we search for love today.
Okay, first things first, we have to get our heads around the sheer scale of this. This 39%, this was the tipping point. By 2017, online dating had already become the #1 way heterosexual couples meet. It completely leapfrogged meeting through friends, family, or work. And look, this isn't just some passing trend. We're talking about a fundamental shift. For 1 in 5 partnered adults under 30, their current relationship started on a dating app. It's the new normal, the new default.
So think about what happens when an app becomes this essential, this baked into our social fabric. The way it's designed, the way it works, it has huge consequences for every single one of us, whether you use it or not.
I mean, really think about it. For an entire generation that has never known a world without apps, this is the most natural place in the world to start looking for a connection. It's not a last resort, it's the front door to romance.
And what's wild is just how fast this all happened. It's not like a slow burn. In the 90s, meeting online was practically unheard of. By 2017, it was the main way people met. That's a complete unprecedented flip in how we form relationships.
But, and this is a huge but, here's where the story takes a really sharp, dark turn. Because that front door we just talked about, well, it's often unlocked, unmonitored, and a prime target for people looking to exploit our search for connection.
So just how common are these scams? This isn't some rare fringe problem. A 2023 Pew Research study found that a majority, 52%, of online daters have run into someone trying to scam them. Think about that. It's a coin flip, literally a 50-50 shot whether your next interaction is genuine or a scam.
The scale of this deception is, well, it's industrial. Let's just take one app, Tinder. They're removing 1 million fake and fraudulent accounts every single week. Do the math on that. That adds up to 52 million fake accounts purged from just one platform every year. It's this relentless, never-ending game of digital whack-a-mole that the platforms are clearly struggling to win.
And the real-world cost is just staggering. According to the FTC, we're talking over $1.14 billion in reported losses to romance scams in the U.S. last year. And let's be real, that's just the tip of the iceberg, only what actually gets reported. But look, this isn't just some big abstract number. For the person who gets hit, the median loss is $4,400. That's rent money, that's an emergency fund, that's gone. But what's really stolen, the thing you can't get back, is their ability to trust.
Okay, so it's not just about dodging scammers. Even when the interactions are real, with real people, the whole experience itself can be incredibly draining. Let's talk about the burnout cycle.
You ever feel like you're just shouting into the void on these apps? Well, you're not wrong. The data backs you up. For every 100 first messages sent out, only about 30 to 35 ever even get a reply. 2/3 of all tries to connect just poof, disappear.
And even when you do get that match, that little spark of hope, it so often dies before it even begins. On an app like Hinge, 50% of all matches never lead to a single message being exchanged. It creates this constant loop of hope, then disappointment.
There's a perfect phrase for this experience. It's been called emotional whiplash on repeat. You get that little dopamine hit from the match, and then immediately, bam, the crash of silence. Over and over again.
And when you add all of this up, the cumulative effect is massive. A study by Plenty of Fish found that a full 80% of users say they feel emotional fatigue from using dating apps. It is literally tiring people out of this search for love.
So what happens? What happens when you combine this massive scale of deception with an experience that is just designed to burn you out? You get a full-blown crisis of trust in the very system we now rely on to build our relationships.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. When the system is this fraught with risk and frustration, genuine connections become collateral damage. They're the ones that pay the price for it all.
And the fallout from this is huge. You get people defensive dating. They're suspicious from the get-go, not open. Danger becomes normalized, just an expected part of it all. Lots of people just give up and delete the apps. And maybe worst of all, that cynicism starts to bleed into their real offline lives.
And that's the real kicker here. That's why this matters to all of us. Because if the main way people now meet is fundamentally broken, the damage doesn't just stay on your phone. It creates these ripple effects that touch everything: mental health, loneliness, how we connect it all.
So it all comes down to this one final, really important question. When the very system designed to help you find love instead forces you to put on emotional armor just to get through it, what does that ultimately do to love itself?